Hello and welcome. We begin with Nigeria. As the US mulls expanding its travel ban to 36 more countries, Nigeria has issued a stark warning. The nation says the US could face retaliatory action and risk losing access to strategic minerals in West Africa. Now, the warning comes amid reports that the Trump administration is planning to significantly expand its controversial travel ban. Earlier this month, President Donald Trump imposed full and partial restrictions on foreign nationals from multiple countries. 12 countries are now under a total ban, 7 of them in Africa. Chad, Republic of Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Libya, Somalia, and Sudan. Another 7 countries face a partial restriction, out of which 3 are from Africa, including Burundi, Sierra Leone, and Togo. But that's not where it ends. A classified State Department memo now warns that 36 more countries may be added to the list. Once again, most of them are from Africa, at least 25 of them. To name a few: Nigeria, Ethiopia, Ghana, Egypt, Angola, Cameroon, Djibouti, Malawi, Mauritania, Senegal, Uganda, and Zimbabwe. If implemented, this expansion could affect nearly 1.5 billion people. Nigeria, as you can see, is on the list. It is the most populous country in Africa. Now, its Foreign Minister, Yusuf Tagar, has slammed the potential move. He has warned that it could hinder trade deals across West Africa, especially in energy and rare earth minerals.
You can ban people, attempt to restrict their movement, and try to limit their potential, but the ground they stand on, the very earth beneath their feet, feeds your industries, powers your economies, and sustains your way of life. Consider the irony. You build walls, both physical and bureaucratic, and close borders, implementing policies that label our nations as risks, our passports as liabilities, and our people as potential threats. You scrutinize every application, every visa request, every attempt to cross these artificial lines. But the soil you dismiss, the land you overlook, holds the keys to your future, a future you desperately need to secure. It's a future built not on exclusion, but on the very resources you seek from the nations you marginalize. Lithium for your electric cars, the vehicles of a greener tomorrow, mined from the earth you deem unworthy. Coltan for your smartphones, the devices that connect your world, extracted from the ground you try to keep us from walking on. And oil for your economy, the lifeblood of your industries, pumped from the depths of the earth you've historically exploited. For decades, for generations, you took what you wanted, with little regard for the consequences, telling us where we could not go, dictating the terms of our engagement. That era, that imbalance of power, is definitively ending. The rules are changing. Nigeria is ready to close the tap, to assert its sovereignty over its resources. This is not a plea for assistance, not a request for charity. It's a warning, a statement of intent. Africa is waking up to its strength, recognizing its collective power. We watched our minerals build your world, fuel your progress, while our people were too often denied basic dignity, treated as second-class citizens in a world built on their very resources. A new generation understands the dynamics of power and leverage, the intricacies of global economics. They see your open hands, eager to receive our resources, and your closed doors, barring the entry of our people. They recognize the hypocrisy. The balance of power is shifting, subtly but surely, not with traditional armies and conventional warfare, but with strategic control of the elements, the minerals, the resources that define this century and drive the global economy. Nigeria stands at the center of this new reality, a pivotal player in this evolving landscape. We will not trade our birthright, our natural inheritance, for empty promises or fleeting gains. From Abuja to Washington, from Lagos to London, respect is not negotiable. It is a fundamental requirement. If our people aren't welcome, if they are denied the opportunities they deserve, then neither are our resources. The ground beneath our feet, rich with potential and brimming with resources, is ours to control, and we are ready, willing, and able to exercise that control. This is a reckoning, a moment of truth, a test of whether the West truly believes in equitable partnership, in mutual benefit, or whether its interest is solely in extraction, in taking without giving back. Nigeria is drawing a line in the sand, not just any sand, but rich, mineral-laden soil, a boundary that signifies a new era of self-determination. The choice is yours. Treat us as equals, respect our sovereignty, and engage in mutually beneficial partnerships, or feel the ground shake beneath your feet. The giant is stirring, awakening from a long slumber, and the world, undoubtedly, will feel it. Washington's new travel ban isn't about security, it's a declaration of distrust. 25 African nations, including Nigeria, are now on a list. Millions see their mobility restricted, their dignity questioned. This isn't targeted, it's a blunt instrument punishing millions for the actions of a few. The justifications are tired: security, documentation, corruption. They ignore the millions of Nigerians who contribute globally. For Nigeria, this is more than an inconvenience, it's an insult. Our partnership is treated as conditional, our people as expendable. How can we negotiate trade when our negotiators are barred? This policy is self-defeating. While America builds walls, others build bridges. Nigeria is reconsidering its partners. The world is watching, and the consequences are just beginning. To truly grasp the magnitude of what's at stake, you must first understand Nigeria, its people, and its potential. It's a nation brimming with dynamism and challenges, a place where the old world meets the new. We are Africa's undisputed giant, a vibrant tapestry of cultures and ethnicities, over 220 million strong, making us the most populous nation on the continent. Our energy is palpable, our spirit indomitable. We boast the continent's largest economy, a powerhouse driving growth and innovation across various sectors. From bustling markets to cutting-edge tech hubs, Nigeria is a land of opportunity. Our youthful population is the engine of our growth, fueling innovation and entrepreneurship, both at home and abroad. They are the future, and they are determined to shape it. Our diaspora, spread across the globe, powers advancements in science, medicine, and business, contributing significantly to the global economy and knowledge base. They are ambassadors of our potential. Beneath our soil lies a treasure trove of the world's most coveted minerals: oil, gas, lithium, coltan, rare earths, representing over $700 billion in untapped value, resources that could transform our nation and the world. This is not merely about wealth, it represents strategic power, a leverage that can shape global dynamics and influence international relations. Yet, America has inexplicably chosen to antagonize the very supplier of the critical minerals its industries so heavily depend on, a decision fraught with potential consequences. Ignoring Nigeria is tantamount to ignoring the future of Africa. Disrespecting Nigeria is akin to disrespecting the engine that drives the continent's progress and prosperity. The US travel ban is not just a policy misstep, it's a historic blunder with far-reaching implications for both nations. The giant has been pushed to its limits, and now, with newfound resolve and determination, the giant is pushing back against the tide of injustice. The world simply cannot afford to ignore us any longer. The path to the future, a future of progress and prosperity, inevitably runs through Nigeria. Abuha's response is clear. The time for quiet diplomacy is over, patience is gone, replaced by a firm resolve to protect Nigeria's interests. The government is now prepared to take decisive action. Nigeria is ready to wield its most powerful weapon, a mineral blockade. This isn't just a threat, it's a declaration that Nigeria will control the flow of its resources. If the US blocks our people, we'll block the flow of critical resources. Every shipment, every contract, every transaction is now under review. This isn't limited to one mineral. Lithium, the key component in electric vehicle batteries, is on the line. Coltan, essential for smartphones and electronics, is also subject to the new restrictions. Oil, gas, everything is on the table. No sector is exempt from this policy shift. Nigeria is prepared to use all its assets as leverage. This is not a bluff. It's a calculated move to show that supply chains run both ways. The era of unilateral resource control is over. Inspired by other African nations asserting their sovereignty, Nigeria is ready to go further, using supply as statecraft to reshape international relations. Our resources are not just commodities. They are instruments of power, tools to ensure fairness and respect on the global stage. The ultimatum: lift the bans or face consequences in your factories and markets. The choice is yours, but the consequences are real. We're not asking for a seat at the table. We own the ground it stands on. Our land, our resources, our rules. The next move is Washington's. The world is waiting to see if they will choose cooperation or confrontation. The world is watching, and the stakes have never been higher. Imagine Nigeria turning off the tap. Silicon Valley would face shortages. Coltan and tin for microchips would vanish, halting production. The auto industry's electric dreams would stall without Nigerian lithium. Prices would soar, targets missed. Aerospace and defense would scramble for rare earths, threatening national security. The energy sector would reel. Nigerian oil and gas stabilize global prices. A halt would send markets into panic, gas prices soaring. America's travel ban exposes its own vulnerability. It assumed it could dictate terms while taking what it needed. Nigeria's blockade reveals the folly of that assumption. In a connected world, respect and access are necessities. Break the chain of people, and you risk breaking the chain that powers your life. This conflict is centuries old, a story of Western hunger for African resources, but reluctance to accept African people. Empires were built on our gold, oil, and diamonds, while our people were kept out. The colonial mindset persists. Our minerals are welcome, our people are not. The travel ban is just the latest gatekeeper, ignoring the contributions of the African diaspora. A barrel of oil is more welcome than a Nigerian student. The mineral blockade is a historic act of self-assertion. No more hypocrisy. You cannot have our lithium without our respect. The call for a blockade is echoing across Nigeria, from labor unions to youth, from Lagos to Abuja. Workers see this as a fight for dignity. Youth see it as a stand against a world that undervalues them. Social media and campuses are alive with demands for leverage, not submission. This is not just Nigeria's fight. Across Africa, solidarity is growing. Leaders and citizens watch, knowing if Nigeria succeeds, all of Africa gains leverage. Business leaders worry, but the people demand action. They are willing to endure short-term pain for long-term respect. This is a grassroots movement for sovereignty. The will of the people is clear. It's time to leverage Africa's power. The world must take notice. A mineral blockade is risky. Lost revenue, economic pain, and enforcement challenges. But with risk comes opportunity. This could break Africa's dependency on the West, forcing new partnerships, BRICS, China, and beyond. It could spark a revolution in African industry, processing minerals at home, building value within the continent. Instead of exporting raw materials, we'd build factories and refineries, fueling the Made in Africa dream. The global chessboard would shift. Europe and Asia would have to choose exclusion or partnership. This defiance could move Africa from the periphery to the center of global affairs. The risks are real, but the rewards, sovereignty, and respect are greater. This is about more than minerals or visas. It's a defining moment for Africa's place in the world. Nigeria fights not just for its people, but for the principle of respect and equality. The world's powers face a choice: exclusion and disruption, or partnership and prosperity. Africa is united, learning to use its wealth as leverage. This isn't about conflict, it's about balance and true partnership. The game has changed. Africa is ready to play as an equal. The outcome will echo for generations. A new African century begins. This is Insight Africa, where we don't beg for permission, we leverage our power.